Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Call Me When They Kiss. I'm Issa,
And I'm Sydney.
and today, Sydney and I will be discussing episodes 5 through 8 of Bridgerton Season 4. And if this is your first time tuning in, every Friday, Sydney and I discuss a different romance movie or sometimes series. And you can also join us the last Monday of every month for our discussion on a romance book. Should we tell them what book we might be doing in March?
Yeah, and then I'll tell them the movie.
Okay, so we don't have the specific book picked out yet. It's a work in progress, but I think we're going to do a Nora Roberts book. If you don't know who Nora Roberts is, she is an extremely prolific writer. She has, I think, literally hundreds of books.
Yeah.
And she's always on the New York Times bestseller list.
I saw that she had written, I think it said 140 plus books or something like that.
Is that including...
No, it's not including, her second...
Yeah.
her other pen name.
Yeah, because she's written... Well, it's kind of funny because she writes romance and then police procedurals. And then I guess even her romances are actually... People on Reddit and stuff kept calling them suspense romance.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that will be me and Sydney's vibe, but we'll find out.
I guess
So,
it's
yeah.
have you ever read, Safe Haven by Nicholas Sparks? Or
Well,
did you
I've
see
seen
the movie? From what I could gather, it's kind of that vibe.
Okay.
She was, on the run. There's that suspense element still, but she's falling in love. So that's kind of what it sounds like, but don't quote me on that.
Well, that's funny you bring up Nicholas Sparks, because... So Sydney let me choose the book this month, so if this Nora Roberts book sucks, you guys can all blame it on me. But so far we've done a contemporary romance by Emily Henry, we did a romantasy, and then last month we did a Regency romance. So I was trying to, Sydney and I have been trying to branch out, try different avenues of romance. And Nora Roberts, I've heard her name a lot. I know who she is. But it's funny because, I did not know she wrote, crime procedurals.
Yeah.
I thought she was, a romance author.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought that. But it's funny that you brought up Nicholas Sparks because I considered him. I was like, what's Nicholas Sparks up to these days? Should we see, has he written any new romance books lately? Do you like Nicholas Sparks? Have you read his books or just seen the movies?
I read a lot of his books in high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of them. Not all of them because he has written a lot, but definitely the ones that have been made into movies, like Dear John, The Lucky One, The Last Song, The Notebook, A Walk to Remember, all of those. I think I did read Safe Haven, but I haven't read them since high school. I think I tried reading The Notebook within the last couple of years, but it definitely felt like a woman written through a male lens.
Oh, really?
And I haven't read a book written by a male in, I don't know, a decade. And so I don't know if that's just him or if I've just gotten used to this more female perspective, But I'd be interested in rereading them. I mean, I remember really liking them.
The only one, most of the movies you listed I've seen, but the only book I actually read was The Last Song because as a teenager, that was my favorite Nicholas Sparks movie. That one's the most teenager-ish to me.
I think we need to watch that one. I was talking to Issa because Hannah Montana's 20th anniversary is at the end of this month. And we were trying to pick one last movie. And I was like, should we do the Hannah Montana movie or The Last Song? She said maybe both. But I didn't know it was one of your favorits.
Well, not
back then of Nicholas Sparks, I guess. I guess it really was narrowed down quite a bit.
Yeah. I like Miley Cyrus. Yeah. Okay, wait, I have a live update. So, me and Sydney, one of our best friends, her mom loves Nora Roberts, and she owns, dozens of her books. Caitlin said she has, a whole bookshelf full of Nora Roberts books. So, I texted Teresa, because that's why I don't have, the specific book picked out yet, because I don't even know where to start. So, just, a minute ago, I texted my friend's mom and asked her, which Nora Roberts book we should do. And she said, girl, they are all good, especially her trilogies. Do the Bride series. I think there are 4 books. It's about 4 friends who work... Huh?
I said, but to commit to a whole series.
It's about 4 friends who work together in the bridal business. Each book is one of the friends story about finding love. Well, that sounds cute. So, like,
okay.
we don't
Like Abby
have
Jimenez.
to commit. Yeah, like,
yeah.
Okay, she's still
and
typing,
it doesn't sound like one of the suspense romances. Because I think she does do, like, normal romance, too. But then people are like, oh, I really like her suspense romance. So, interesting. Okay, well, I'm down.
Yeah, stay tuned. We'll announce it. Well, by the time this episode goes out, we'll have posted about it. So,
yeah.
We'll see what other options she gives us.
And for our movie, we are going to be watching for next week. So that's March 13th, I want to say, yes.
March 13th? Oh, yeah, because this episode comes out.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
We've really gotten in the habit of recording, like, the day before the episode comes out. And this one, we're finally doing it in advance.
Yeah.
So the movie we'll be watching for March 13th is Rosalind. It is a romantic comedy, and it is centered around the ex-girlfriend of Romeo, as in Romeo and Juliet. And so Issa, I've been saying this in, like, every single episode. I'm just still so impressed. She watched 12 versions of Wuthering Heights, but her next kind of, like, series that she's going to tackle is Romeo and Juliet. And so we kind of wanted to find something that was in this, we're really in this mood of, like, Wuthering Heights and Bridgerton and these kind of older stories. And so we thought that could be, like, a fun way to keep in that time period, but also connect it to, that's it, not the same time period.
No, definitely not.
No, I said that and then immediately stopped and was like, that's not what I meant to say. Just, like, a period piece.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
I was like, wait a second. But yeah, like, go with this theme of, like, period pieces, but it would be a good segue for Issa to tackle all these Romeo and Juliet adaptations.
I just watched the trailer and it kind of is giving My Lady Jane vibes, so I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, it's sort of like the feminist retelling in, like, this kind of comedy modern way that My Lady Jane really tackles. And so yeah, I think it'll be good. So we're watching that one and then we'll be done. We'll move on from period pieces. We won't, well, yeah. We'll still come back.
Yeah.
But
and if you want to know what movies we'll be watching for the full month of March, you can look on our Instagram. Well, should we get into Bridgerton?
Let's do this.
You seem less than thrilled.
I was just, like, a little bit bored, to be honest. And we kind of talked about this with the first part, but they've almost made it a show where you have to be multitasking. I don't know if it's just me and my attention span, but it just felt so slow, and I actually, like, sped it up on the app to, like, a 1.5 playback speed, and honestly, like, I couldn't tell a difference. They didn't sound weird. I mean, sometimes they'd move kind of weird, like when they were walking, it was a little you know, but, like, I could almost not even tell that it was sped up. It just feels like the way people talk and the way they're moving is, like, so slow. The storyline feels slow sometimes. So I thought it was fine, but I wasn't, like, I found it hard to, like, lock in. I think the last episode was definitely, like, one of the more entertaining episodes, but for this being, like, the 8th episode, I don't know. I just was kind of expecting a little bit more, but it wasn't bad.
Do you like it better than season 3?
Probably. Truthfully, I can't remember anything about season 3. Like, it's so, like... Well,
it's funny that you say that, because when Cressida showed up, I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about you. And I couldn't even really remember why Eloise and Penelope were mad at her. I pieced it together through the, context clues they were giving us. And I know in our last Bridgerton episode, I vowed to rewatch Bridgerton. And you guys, number one, I agreed to the Wuthering Heights thing. Sorry again that we keep bringing that up. 2, I just, like, didn't have it in me to rewatch it. Like, I like Bridgerton, but not enough to rewatch it.
I actually just saw it was an edit of Anthony and his, like, opera mistress. I can't remember what her name was now.
Shoot, yeah. They even said it in season 4, I think, and I can't remember.
Ugh, it's gonna bug me. But, it was, like, an edit that they made of, like, it was, like, this is, like, Anthony's, quote, mistake or whatever. And honestly, like, I forgot how into them I was. Like, I was interested in their storyline almost more than, like, Simon and Daphne's. Like, because I felt drawn to Anthony even from season 1. Even with those insane sideburns, I was like, who is this man? And I looked him up, like, as soon as I finished season 1, and I was like, okay, his name's Jonathan Bailey. He's super cute. And yeah, so I'd like to claim that I was an OG Jonathan Bailey fan now. But yeah, somebody had made a point that, like, it wasn't, like, him and Kate that was, like, so amazing. It's just, like, Jonathan Bailey. Like, he can have great chemistry with anyone, because seeing those clips, I was like, oh, yeah, like, he had really great chemistry with her, too. Yeah. So, it kind of did make me want to watch season 1 again. But season 3, I have no interest.
Yeah, maybe I could rewatch season 1 and season 2. If anything, I'm just so busy watching other stuff for this podcast that it's like, I do not have time to rewatch stuff.
Well, and honestly, this show is sort of made in a way with the seasons coming out every 2 years, and with the seasons being so disconnected, I don't think they're really meant to watch back to back. And I think if you were to rewatch them all and watch them all back to back, you'd realize just how many, like, plot pivots and plot holes and characters missing. And, like, I think those flaws would, like, become very evident.
Yeah.
When watching it all together.
Well, I know this is kind of jumping around, but speaking of things being disconnected, do you think it was one of the most shocking things of the season was Violet calling off her engagement with Lord Anderson at the very end? I was not expecting that. And I was wondering if you thought that they had that planned all along.
That's a good question. I don't know. I didn't really think it was, like, a great story, like a good excuse, I guess. Like, she's like, oh, I've spent all these years being a wife and a mother. And the way that he said it, like, oh, I would wait for you if I felt like this is something you'd change your mind on, but I don't feel that way. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
So now she doesn't want to get married at all. Like, I don't know. I was kind of left confused by that. Like, I don't think the seeds were being planted enough to, like, I know there are plot twists that are supposed to just surprise you, but usually there's something, I don't know. It just felt like, okay, then what did we just spend this whole season on?
Yeah. Yeah, I was not expecting it. And it's kind of funny the way I feel like they can make up the personalities of the older characters when they were younger to fit whatever child needs something or is going through something. Because all of a sudden Violet was like, Benedict, you're just like me when I was a girl. And then that happened. Shoot, there was another. Oh, it was Araminta.
Oh, yeah.
Is that how you say her name? She pulled that on Posey, which was less of a big deal, like, whatever. Yeah. But she was like, Posey, I was just like you when I was younger. Yeah, they just, like, make up these younger personalities for them.
When Violet said that, I was like, so how exactly were you like him?
Right.
Like,
yeah,
you were a rake? Like, you were out there just, like, partying, getting drunk, sleeping with whoever. Like, I'm finding that hard to believe. You've got 8 children. He died when you were young. I feel like you got married pretty young. Like,
yeah.
She's like, no, I was passionate and wild and rebellious. I'm like, but were you?
Yeah.
I'm not falling for it.
It was just kind of strange because I don't have anything against Violet, like, rediscovering herself as an individual, like, good for her. But everything they've told us and shown us about Violet is that, like, she wants companionship. That was the story that they were, like, telling us and building up. So, yeah.
And that, like, older women still, like, deserve that too.
Right.
Or, like, widows. Like, I thought it was, like, a nice story they were telling, you know?
Yeah.
And when she said, oh, all I've been is a wife and a mother, I'm like, well, sure, but also, like, your daughters have ladies' maids. Your sons have clearly just been doing whatever the heck they want. I'm not calling her a bad mom, but Anthony kind of has called her a bad mom. Like, he's like, you weren't even there. Like, I stepped up and I did these things. And so, like, again, I'm not doubting all the effort that she's done as a mother. But in that time, it's like she wasn't doing the cooking or the cleaning. She's not teaching her children anything because they've got all these servants and ladies' maid and tutors. And so I'm kind of like, girl, what have you been doing for 20 years? I don't know, but
no, that's true.
Good for her. Have a self-discovery moment.
Go off, diva.
Would I do it? No, I really like Lord Anderson. I think they're cute together, but
well, that's why I'm wondering if it wasn't even really planned. Like, they kind of pivoted because I was thinking about this too. The show is just so interesting because, you know, your romantic leads get to shine for one season and then they're kind of cast to the side. So honestly, like, I wonder who's getting paid the most, because some of these characters, like Violet, even though they're not like the stars of the show, they've had relatively large parts throughout every single season compared to some of the former leads that pop in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was wondering if they were like, well, we can't have Violet's storyline wrap up too quickly because she's one of our recurring characters that actually maintains a larger presence on the show.
That's true, especially even with Lady Danbury leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like she needs her own subplot. I mean, you could argue, though, that this is a thing that I kind of have issues with, just in, like, real life even, is this message that, like, you cannot, like, be married and be discovering yourself.
Yeah.
And, like, pursuing yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I think that she could have married Lord Anderson and that she still could have, like, discovered all these things about herself and decided what she wanted to do with her life. Like, I don't think that they're interchangeable. And wait, no, that's not the right word. You know, like, I don't
They're
think
not
that
like
it has
mutually exclusive.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it doesn't have to be one or the other, and that I think it would be nice to show that. Like, it feels like in a lot of popular media that it does kind of portray that it's either one or the other, and that...
Well, it's kind of funny because, like...
You disagree?
Well, it's easier for me to accept that with, like, Violet. But, like, Hyacinth said the same thing. She was like, I think I want to learn more about myself. And so me seeing that, like, 16-year-old girl or however, I'm like, yeah,
that's valid.
Good for you, girl.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I guess I have mixed... Like, I see what you're saying, but I don't think I, like, 100% agree in all circumstances.
No, I agree with that. I think it's a very different story if we're talking about, like, a 16-year-old or even a 21, 22, 23-year-old.
Yeah.
It's very different than talking about, like, a woman in her 50s that has loved, that has had children, that clearly has had, like, lots of life experience. I think it's a little bit different for her specifically. But there's a difference between, like, figuring out, like, literally who you are, like, you're still developing, versus, like, what do I want to spend the rest of my life doing?
Yeah.
As, like, a middle-aged woman.
Like, Violet knows herself well enough that she probably could marry Lord Anderson and they could have a fun time being... I mean, I know she still has a couple kids left at home, but, like, she's almost an empty nester. They could discover new hobbies and passions together.
I'm kind of just, like, not really sure what she's, like, what is this path that you're going to be taking? But I guess I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. Okay, well, now that we got them out of the way... Who else should we get out of the way? Or should we go to Benedict and Sophie? Maybe we should get Francesca out of the way.
Well, yeah, okay.
My thing about Francesca... no. I felt for her. I thought Hannah Dodd did a good job, especially the scene with Francesca and Violet, and Francesca getting upset because Violet was trying to relate to her, and Francesca is like, you don't understand, like, we're not the same. And that was really interesting. Like, as the audience, we know Francesca is apparently going to end up with Michaela. So I thought that was, like, a good scene, and it made me tear up a little bit.
It made me tear up, too.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that either. And I was like, oh, I'm...
Yeah, because I haven't really been that interested in Francesca the whole time. Something, though, that was kind of funny to me was, like, in particular Benedict, and I guess probably because he's the main character of the season, but, like, we spent so much time crying over John, and it was really sad, but it was just kind of funny because none of these characters, have they ever talked to John in the show before, besides Francesca?
Like, one-on-one? No, not really. I mean, maybe in season 3, they, you know, chatted with them here or there. I mean, they were gone in Scotland, right? And so...
They, like, used his death. They, like, used his death for every character to be like, I need to live in the moment and live life for myself. And, like it was a catalyst for everybody to be like, oh my gosh, like, I'm gonna follow my heart because you never know how much time you're gonna get. Which is a great message. But I was just like, you guys have never talked to this guy.
Yeah. No, I think that's actually like my issue with a lot of the plot points throughout Bridgerton is
Yeah.
like it just feels like so abrupt when something happens that it's not very smooth, all the plot
Mhm.
points. And yeah, so I feel the same way. I also think that like it actually would have felt more emotionally impactful if they had not involved Michaela's character at all yet.
Right.
Um like introducing her, I've never read the books, but of course like people that know the books are going to know and talk about what's going to happen. So like we knew from the beginning when Michaela was brought in that Francesca was going to end up with her. I mean, we knew that even before she was brought in. We didn't know it was going to be Michaela, but like we knew what Francesca's story was.
Mhm.
And so I think that it would have felt even stronger if they had just given like John and Francesca that space and this time for me to be really convinced in like their love story and their feelings for each other without having that third person like already kind of tangled up. Even though I think they tried to like put some tension between Francesca and Michaela to show like, no, see, look, like she wasn't into Michaela when she was married to John. I feel like they
Mhm.
tried to do that on purpose, but it doesn't really matter. It just like was a distraction
Yeah.
for like what their relationship was. And I think it would have like almost all of her screen time like it was just like Michaela was there a lot, you know?
Yeah.
And I just think it would have been nice to like really like sit in that love and like what they were struggling with versus like adding in all of these points about Michaela. And I think
Yeah.
that it wouldn't have made a difference like if in the next season, say, or even if just at the funeral, like Michaela shows up, you know, and like, oh, this is
Right.
John's cousin. I just don't think we needed all of that while he was still alive, and it kind of decreased it the
No, it was
impact.
a lot, and it's just like a bizarre situation. Like your husband dies, and now you're gonna get with his cousin.
Yeah.
Like it's all just like kind of bizarre.
Well, and it's more bizarre because they've painted them as this like best friend. And again, like I've heard the book is
Michaela and
similar.
John.
Yeah.
Wait, his name's John, right?
Yeah, John.
Okay.
It's like
Yeah.
they're best friends and they're so close and they're everything
Right.
to each other. La, 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 la. And it's like, okay, well, you just made it weird. Versus like if it
Yeah.
was just like a random cousin that
Right.
showed up at the end
Right.
and like helped maybe get some affairs in order. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very strange. And I just feel like from the beginning, I don't know, there's just so many things like working against Francesca, I feel like, and me being invested in her, like, because now it's been 2 seasons where she's gotten a lot of screen time. I'm like ready for her to have her season so we can like move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. No, that's valid. I also think that
And the way they like this, sorry, this was the other thing.
go
I
ahead.
realized I like interrupted myself and didn't finish my thought. Like the way they recasted her, she kind of, it felt like she came out of nowhere in season 3.
Yeah.
You know what
Even
I
though she
mean?
was technically there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true.
And listen, this is the thing about having a podcast. I feel like everything I have to say, I have to issue a disclaimer. I'd like the record to show I have no issue with her being with a woman. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let me just put that out there. I just feel like they haven't done her story very well.
Yeah. No, I agree. I actually think that like what we're talking about would make that story better. Like the fact that she is a woman would make it I just think it would like flow so that much better if it had been like a completely different storyline. And I think that's why
Yeah.
people like are having some issues is that like they're like what they feel about the book is that like Michaela and John like really sorry Francesca and John really did love each other, and I just think that like introducing her early just kind of muddled that like perception of like, well, was she
Right.
really in love with John? Was she
Yeah.
never really into him? Like, and I think it just would have like given the readers a little bit more satisfaction to see that as like a completely different storyline, and that like her being with Michaela now, a woman, doesn't negate at all like all the love that she felt for John and like their relationship with together. But what they've done now of like merging it all together then puts some of that confusion of like, well, but what about John? Because some people really
Yeah.
love John.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think it just would have made it more clear, like, you know, she could be with him and love him. She could be with her and love her. And that, like, it doesn't cancel out one or the other, you know?
Yeah, right.
But I do think that they are doing a little bit better of a job of, like, laying the groundwork for future characters, like with Gregory and Hyacinth. Eloise, not quite enough still. I feel like she's still Eloise, and I'm like, so when are you gonna be, like, open to marriage? And, I mean, they opened it up a little bit, but I'm hoping that, like, when Gregory and Hyacinth's stories come, and even Eloise's, that it won't feel so quite, like, so out of the blue, you know?
Yeah. Well, I definitely liked Eloise a lot better in the second half of the season than the first half, but I do think I've seen a lot of people being like, "Oh my gosh, who's going to be next? Is it Eloise or Francesca?" But it seems like it's going to be Francesca because I think if it was going to be Eloise, they would have laid more groundwork like you're saying.
That's true. Like, we've heard nothing about what's her face and what's her name again?
Mariana?
Yeah, Mariana. Marianne? It's whatever it is. Well, now I'm getting confused with Sandikin.
Oh,
Because her
yeah.
name was Marianne. I think it's Mariana. But yeah, like, we haven't heard about them for a while. We have no idea what's gonna happen. But you know what? With how things happen, I wouldn't be surprised if the next season started with, oh, this chick died and now I'm here for some business, you know?
And it's Eloise's season?
Yeah, because, like, even with what you were talking about with, like, Cressida, I remembered that she was, like, gonna go off and marry some old man. But boom, she's back and she's married to Penwood, and we have no idea what happened with that old man. So, like, I wouldn't hold it against the
Yeah.
writers of Bridgerton to just do a 180
I see what you're saying.
and put something in there, you know? They kind of just
Yeah.
do whatever they want.
It has to be Francesca, though, because Hannah Dodd, every single Bridgerton press photo is Benedict, Sophie, and Francesca, and sometimes Violet. Like, Hannah Dodd has been in every single dang picture I've seen.
Well, and, like, she's always been, like, intertwined in somebody else's story. And so, I mean, either way, I guess they're gonna have to be mixed. Like, either they've got to lay some groundwork with Eloise, like, in Francesca's season,
Yeah.
or the other way around, you know? So I guess, though, I would prefer it to be, like, Francesca's season laying groundwork for Eloise than, well, okay, sorry. I'm, like, I never thought about this until now. The thing with that is, though, if it is Francesca's, then that makes this happening, like, immediately after John's death. Do you think that they would want to, like, lay some groundwork and, like, let some time pass and, like, lead up to her story a little bit more than having it be, like, fresh after?
I guess that's a good point, but...
And she left.
Yeah.
Michaela.
Well, maybe it is Eloise.
I don't know. I can't follow what this show's gonna do next.
No.
So do we think...
And I wish
Benedict's
they would put the seasons out faster.
Oh, I know. Like 2 years. Do you think that Benedict and Sophie are going to stick around, or are they going to disappear like the others?
They might stick around about as much as Penelope and Colin.
Yeah. I mean, they don't have... Like, I know that Anthony's probably not around as much because... I mean, him and Simone, Jonathan Bailey and...
Simone Ashley.
Yes. I almost said Simone Biles. She's a gymnast. I was like, nope, that's not right. They're both pretty booked. Like, they've done some good projects. And, like, we know, like, with Simon, like, leaving Bridgerton, that kind of left things weird for them. But I don't know if this sounds mean, but, like, I don't see Benedict being, like, picked up in all these other projects and, like, super busy. So I think we might see him a little bit more. And I would hope so, since apparently the Bridgertons are, like, all about family, and they're all so close, and their family means everything. It's just that half their family's missing.
Yeah,
all the time.
And they pretended like Daphne doesn't exist, but they did name drop the Duke when it benefited them.
Yeah.
When they were trying to bust Sophie out of jail.
Do you think that the show would be better if they had recasted them to, like, keep them more involved and have it revolve more around the family than, like, all these, like, side plots?
Well, I'd be annoyed with... I just hate when they have to recast people. But I do think Daphne... It's like we talked about in our first Bridgerton episode. Like, Francesca needed Daphne to talk about sex with, you know? So, I don't know. Yeah, maybe would have been worth it to just recast them.
Well, can we talk about, this reminds me about you saying, a sister needing her sister. Can we talk about how they brought Anthony back just to, like...
Be the villain?
Yes!
Yeah.
I was like, why are you making Anthony the bad guy? Why are you ruining his character?
So annoying. Yeah.
Ugh, I was really bothered by that. I was like,
and
Anthony
then he
disappeared.
Then he disappeared, and then he came back just to be like, okay, it's fine.
I'd just rather them, like, not have him in there at all, versus bring him back for one awkward scene, and then he's gone again.
Yeah. No, it was kind of weird. And then also, even Kate was being like a party pooper. The girls were trying to gossip, and she was like the voice of reason, or like stood up for, I don't even remember who they were talking about or who they were gossiping about.
Yeah.
But Kate was like, well, let's give them the benefit of the doubt.
I thought she looked really pretty in that scene, though.
No,
I really liked her dress.
Really,
I've missed seeing her on screen. I was like,
yeah, she's pretty.
Yeah.
Their baby was cute, but I definitely thought he was a girl at first.
In the bed scene, they were like, oh, and little Edmund, and I was like, huh? I thought that was a little girl.
It was a super cute baby.
It was. Yeah, maybe
he was wearing
a girl
like
baby.
A nightgown, which I guess maybe back then little boy babies wore nightgowns like that. But like just the way, and he had like curly long hair, so I thought it was a girl
and really like big blue eyes. And
yeah,
it was a cute baby.
Yeah, he was cute.
I was just gonna ask, like, I mean, we probably sound like party poopers, but isn't it like this is the funnest part, right? I've realized it's really fun for us, but the more I talk to other people, the more I realize, oh. Maybe everyone doesn't like to like pick apart TV shows. But
it's not, listen, you guys, it's not that I didn't like it. Like I liked this season better than season 3, and I always have fun watching Bridgerton. But when we're talking about something for over an hour, what do you want us to do? Just sit and gush about it for a full hour? That's no fun.
Yeah. We can't be like, oh my gosh, it was so beautiful and amazing, nothing wrong, no notes. Yeah. But I also think that like giving feedback is important. Like I've been thinking about this with like Wuthering Heights, and even
because we all know Shonda Rhimes is listening to our podcast.
Yeah, she is. Now that Spotify shared us.
Yeah. Which we got no followers from that.
I was just about to say that. Nobody cares. But no, but like I'm really glad that people love those movies. Like just love them. I'm glad. I'm happy for you. But I don't think it's bad to say like, hey, we actually want more. Especially when it comes to Netflix, because we know what they're doing. We know that they're, I mean, honestly, it's bizarre that it's taking them 2 years to come up with, and it's not just Bridgerton, it's just like Netflix shows in general. Like they take so long, but then they're purposely designed so that you can be on your phone during the show.
Yeah.
And that half the plot is just like repeating the main plot points. And yeah, like I think it's good for us to say like, hey, we do want stories with more like plots that are connected and make sense.
Yeah.
And that well, sure, we can enjoy this. We'd also really love something that was an even better story,
Mm-hmm. Wait, so what parts were like bothering you about the plot?
Honestly, like, I think it's just Bridgerton's hard because they've modernized so many elements that then what they want to stay old-fashioned is like unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like you've already like done so much. I don't believe the stakes against you, or
like with Sophie being a maid.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is gonna ruin you. This is gonna ruin our family. We can't stay in contact. Blah, 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 like all these things, and it's like, but why?
Yeah.
Like, it's what we talked about before. Like, he was already a known rake.
Yeah.
He wasn't being secretive about being with, like, men or women. And so I'm a little bit confused still on, like, how that will play into Francesca's storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is this something that is socially accepted and they won't have any problems with that? Or will it be another repeat of, like, this season? Of, like, oh, we can't do this.
But then somehow they'll figure out a way to do it.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I feel like I was struggling with the most. And we did get our question answered when we were like, when Violet was sleeping with Lord Anderson, we were like, wait, is that against the rules? Or like, are like old widows, like, do they have different rules?
Yeah.
Apparently it is against the rules still. But yeah, it just kind of makes it hard to follow. And I don't Yeah, I'm just like not falling for it anymore. There needs to be some sort of like, especially I think in a Regency romance, like these rules are what makes
the tension.
It like builds the tension. Yeah, it makes the conflict, and when it's basically like a free-for-all, then I'm like, well, I no longer believe this like world that you've set up.
Yeah, and they always use the queen. The queen is just so obsessed with the Bridgertons that they get away with anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea how they're going to handle Francesca and Michaela.
Especially because that story, like, that version of the story wasn't in the books.
Right. Yeah. I have no idea. But, I mean, Exhibit A this season, they'll find some... It wasn't even... Maybe they'll just blackmail someone. Because that's what they did for Sophie. They were like, well, we'll just blackmail. Which is, I mean, I don't care. That lady was mean, but...
I thought they were going to make some societal change, though. And then I was like, oh, so we're just pretending she's nobility. Okay.
Right.
And also we did have another question answered when in our other episode we talked about Sophie, like she is technically of noble blood. And so I was like, well, she is noble. Like, why doesn't she just say this, blah, blah, blah. But then, yeah, once I like... it clicked of like, oh, well, she's illegitimate. I was like, oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. For some reason, like, I wasn't thinking about that at the first half. I was like, but she's noble. But again, like, that's another rule that, like, it's like, well, you've already disregarded so many rules.
Wasn't Kate illegitimate? I think she was. I'll look it up.
I can't remember, or if her mom, or if they were married and her mom just died.
Let's see, is there a Bridgerton wiki? Yeah, maybe they'll tell us here. Maybe you're right. Her own parents are dead. Despite Kate being her father's daughter from his first marriage, Lady Mary, his second wife, treated Kate as if she were her own.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe she's not illegitimate.
We were spot on about the will, though. Not that that was like a hard plot point to guess anyways, but...
I'm glad you brought that up. That was something that irked me. You're telling me Sophie is a smart girl. You're telling me not one time in the 7 years that her father's been dead, she never once considered that Araminta was lying to her?
It's just like what we talked about with Sandakan. Like, why are you creating these, like, smart, like, strong-willed women and then, like, not letting them use their dang brain?
Yeah.
That Benedict had to be the one of, like, well, why didn't you ever think about her lying to you? She hates you.
And Benedict did not even hesitate. As soon as Sophie said it, he was like, Sophie, she's lying to you. Like, and it's so funny because I don't think that would have been hard to rewrite. She could have suspected her the whole time, but not known where the will was or how to find it, or it was like she destroyed the will. You know what I mean? Like, they could have come up with, even if she just had the suspicions, I would have been like, yeah, duh, of course you're suspicious. And that would have gone a long way, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure. It was giving a Cinderella story, Hiller Duff version. Because, same thing. I mean, it's hard, of course, for a Cinderella retelling to not feel like cliche or repetitive or whatever, because we've seen it done a million times, but it is what it is. How did you feel about Sophie and Benedict?
They were cute. Like, Benedict grew on me throughout the season. Like, the way he was really distraught over not being able to be with Sophie, and like I liked how hard he was fighting for her and convincing her that he loved her. And it was a really like poignant moment when she was like coming to terms with the fact that it was hard for her to believe that Benedict truly loved her because she'd never felt like anyone truly loved her in her life before. So they really grew on me overall, I'd say.
Yeah. I like them. I like them as a couple. I wasn't as invested because I just unfortunately do not find Benedict attractive. And so like some of the scenes where I knew he was like supposed to be coming off as like really hot or sexy, I was just kind of like, that's okay.
I know, like I did not need to see his butt.
Yeah.
Oh, and when they zoomed in on his lips and everyone's been memeing that moment,
Yeah, they're like, never show that man's lips that close on my screen
At
ever
least put
again.
some lip plumper on him or something, like.
Or even just like some chapstick. They just seemed really like dry and
that was weird.
Kind of like pale, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. But I was gonna say that I felt like there was more nudity in this season. Like, not like a ton of sex scenes, but the sex scenes that they had were more like breasts and butts, and it just
really?
made me.
I don't think more than like season 1.
Well, no, not season 1, but like season 2, I think it only. I think it did show a little bit of Kate's, and season 3, like I said, I genuinely don't remember anything, but it just made me wonder if it's based on like personal preference of like the female leads, because season 1 did have a ton, and then season 2 felt like toned back, and so then I felt like, oh, like they're showing a lot of nudity again, and
personal
so,
preference
like,
of the actresses.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like maybe. If Simone Ashley was like, well, I'd prefer to like make it more subtle.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know how much say they have in that.
Yeah, I mean, they showed Sophie's breasts like twice, and they could have with Kate and Anthony showed a lot more, and especially after season 1. So it just made me curious about that, like how they decide like how much they're gonna show.
When they showed Sophie's boobs, I was like, whoa, and I think it's because the last sex scenes I've watched is Heated Rivalry.
Yeah.
So I was like, breast. Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about boobs.
No, that's true. That's so funny because I actually had the same reaction. Like, I was watching it and I was like, whoa, that's a boob. Yeah. Even though, like, we have boobs. Like, we see boobs every day. But still, every time I see a boob, I'm like, whoa.
It's not that I've, like, never seen boobs on TV before, but just, like, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that was a thing in Bridgerton.
It's not just a bunch of butts.
And 6-packs.
Yeah, no, that's so funny. No, yeah, but I did like them. They were cute this season.
Yeah. Okay, I want to go back to Araminta for a minute because I feel like another like shaky plot point was how determined Araminta was to like take Sophie down, because
like, get her in prison.
Yeah, because Sophie seemed pretty content to like mind her own business.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was kind of ironic that if Araminta had just left her alone, I don't think Sophie would have interfered with. And again, apparently she was too stupid to realize her dad really did keep her in the will. So like I think that Araminta's daughters would have been fine.
That's true. I can't think of a good. I mean, I know that she worried that it would get out that Sophie was illegitimate, but like Sophie wasn't in a rush to tell anyone that.
Right.
So yeah, like why was she like so desperate to get rid of her when for months she'd been under the radar minding her own business?
Yeah.
Because it had been months. Like he said, oh, I met this girl at a ball, but that was months ago. And I didn't realize like how much time had passed. So I'm like, you should really just move on.
Yeah. It was also funny that just the concept that they were next door neighbors and they couldn't find her.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, when it was time for the plot to move forward, then Varley saw her in a Bridgerton uniform at the market or whatever. It's like, really?
No, I think she was lying.
Oh, like Varley had been protecting her?
No, I think that I thought, unless I was speeding through this part too fast, but like when Posey had snuck out and Araminta yelled at Varley, like, you were supposed to watch her, blah, blah, blah. You were supposed to see where she would lead us. And then she immediately went in there and said, oh, Varley saw her this. I think she was just lying to Posey so that Posey would confirm that she was at Bridgerton House. Because as soon as Sophie said, like, oh, but you don't need to worry about her, she's leaving, she kind of was like, smiled and then left. She was like, okay, I got what I needed.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
but,
maybe.
Again, I was watching this it kind of faster through that part. And some slower parts, I was even like skipping ahead 10 seconds. I was like,
oh my gosh, Sydney.
Go. I just wanted it to wrap up, and not like in like a terrible bad way, like, oh my gosh, I hate this, just get to the end. But like, I just don't feel like these seasons need to be, well, it's actually funny. I was gonna say sometimes I feel like they don't need to be so long because it feels like not a ton is happening sometimes.
Yeah.
But old show like Grey's Anatomy their seasons are like 25 episodes. And so it's funny that I'm like, you should make this shorter. I think they should make it longer if they actually like told the story better.
Yeah.
But because of the way they're telling it, like to split it into 2 parts and like get them separately. And by the time the second part comes out, I'm just like, I just want to find out what happens,
I know. I really don't know why they do the 2 separate drops. It's so stupid.
Yeah. It's just to get people to sign up for another month of Netflix. But I don't know. I mean, I guess with the amount of viewers Bridgerton has, that $10 per viewer, like, might make a big impact. But I'm like, here's an idea, Netflix. Just come out with better stuff.
So that everyone keeps their subscription.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm not going to lie. I think the only reason why I have my Netflix subscription was to watch Bridgerton. So I guess it works.
Well, good thing you got Sandikin out of it, too.
I know. Well, now I have to keep it because we're watching so many movies. Like, Netflix does have a lot of movies now. But, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We better talk about my one note. My favorite Benedict line of the whole season, actually just my whole line of the season period, was when Benedict, and he said it so snarky, and I'm not going to try to match his tone because I can't really remember now, but it's when they're at like the courthouse or whatever, and Araminta's trying to sentence Sophie to jail or death over these shoe clips, and Benedict comes in to rescue her, and he says to Araminta, "You besmirch shoot, I already screwed it up. Okay, take 2. You besmirch my honor over a pair of shoe clips."
Yeah, the way he said it. I really like that whole scene, actually.
Yeah.
Like, he and Violet together were, like, so worked up and, like, ready to, like, defend their girl, and I thought it was a cool scene.
Also, like, what the hell are shoe clips?
I know.
Oh! I have a vague idea of what they must be, obviously, but...
It's just what, like a brooch for your shoe?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think my favorite line was when the queen said, "I don't want an apology. I want gossip." Yeah. And that's how I felt about this whole season, honestly. I'm like, where's the gossip? Like, revealing Lady Whistledown in season 3 was just way too early. It was not, like, I think that's what I felt like was missing this whole season, was Lady Whistledown. I'm like, I need the letters, I need the drama, I want the rumors. And so it was funny when the queen said that, because I was like, exactly.
Well, I really liked the queen's storyline this whole season.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, I seriously teared up pretty much every time her and Lady Danbury were having a moment. And it's interesting that they allude to Queen Charlotte, the show, so much, but it's, like, not an official season of Bridgerton. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I know everyone who watches Bridgerton has most likely watched Queen Charlotte.
No,
but
I was just about to say, I saw, like, there's a surprisingly large amount of people I've seen on TikTok that have said that they skipped Queen Charlotte.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, it's like the people that skip Tower of Dawn and Throne of Glass. I'm like, you can't say that you're a Bridgerton fan and skip Queen Charlotte.
Yeah. No, it's just unfortunate because that was such a good show, and they, like, have all these allusions to it, like even when they pan to Brimsley and he's making like a knowing face. But I don't know. I don't know how they could incorporate those younger actors or make another season of Queen Charlotte, but yeah, it's just, man, it seems like they need to do something with it.
I think that they were my favorite part, honestly.
Queen
At least
Charlotte
the second part.
Lady Danbury.
Yeah. I think they were really sweet, and, like, I think the story could benefit from, like, some strong female friendship again. It's like we used to have that with Penelope and Eloise, and then they kind of went through their drama, and now they're just sort of like, Penelope's just like a smiling extra. And I'm like, I would like to feel more of that again, of, like, friendship. That it's not just love stories and, like, random side plots, but that these people are actually, like... connected a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, even Violet talking to Lady Danbury, it was like the only time Violet and Lady Danbury interacted was when Violet needed help resolving a classic Bridgerton scandal. But yeah, so what happened to their friendship the rest of the season?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Did you notice that the Queen's Pomeranians were named after planets and in honor of George?
I didn't. Okay. No, thank you for bringing that to my attention, because when she said the dog's name, I thought it was Mercury, right? And I was like, oh, why did you name your dog that?
Yeah.
But no, that makes sense. That's really cute.
Yeah. I feel for the queen, and I also heavily relate to her and her love for gossip.
Yeah. We don't need apologies. This is me, Nisa. And I think that's why we like to nitpick movies. We're not gonna gossip about like people in our lives. That's just mean. We're gonna gossip about TV shows. We'll nitpick it and tear it apart, but still love it inside, you know?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask if you had any thoughts of who the new Lady Whistledown is.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna. Well, our conversation was kind of going there, but then I started talking about Queen Charlotte. Well, first off, at first I thought it was Penelope. Like when they first,
like when it showed her riding again.
Yeah, and I was so annoyed. I was like, why the hell did you guys have her make this whole big deal about quitting Whistledown and then just bring it back in the last episode? So then I was like, oh, okay. Thank God it's someone else. But yeah, I have no idea who it could be. Like, do you think it's to be someone we know or a brand new character?
The two biggest rumors that I've seen or theories are Varley or Lady Mondrich. Mondrich? Is that her name? Alice.
Okay.
But I don't
really see either of those.
No, like Alice wants to like make a difference in society, and not that gossipers can't make a difference in society, but like it just doesn't seem like what she would want to be spending her time doing. Varley is classic. Sorry.
Well, before you transition to Varley, unless she changes the tone and purpose of Lady Whistledown and like uses the column for good.
For some better reasons.
Which, boo, give us the gossip.
I mean, they did kind of allude to like Varley always knowing the tea, and she's always kind of listening in. But in Gossip Girl, one of the biggest theories was that like Blair's, I don't even know what she even was. She's not a maid. It's like, I mean, she kind of was a maid. She dressed like a maid, but it was like Blair's used to be her nanny, and then she just like helped raise her or whatever her title was. They were like set that like she was Gossip Girl, and it just felt that same like, oh, it's the kind of older person on the outskirts watching, which like I get, but like it just feels like it's too obvious, that theory, you know? I think that if they're going to build up something like this, that it would have to be something that would surprise us a little bit.
Right.
So,
well,
could it be Eloise?
Yeah, she crossed my mind, but I don't know.
What are you going to say?
Well, I haven't read the books, so I wonder how this all goes down in the books with Penelope and Whistledown. Because I felt from season 1 that they revealed Whistledown's identity to the audience too soon.
Mm-hmm.
Which I get that it plays into the plot and Penelope's storyline, so like we needed to know. But then, and I already said this in one of our other Bridgerton episodes, but like, yeah, like in season 3, the whole Penelope Whistledown plotline was so boring because we've known the whole time she was Whistledown.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're now bringing... I don't know. It kind of feels like a cop-out. Like, oh, we need to come up with something to keep people interested, so we're going to recycle Lady Whistledown.
Well, and honestly, like, I can't think of a TV show that does this well. Like, I just mentioned Gossip Girl does this. Pretty Little Liars does this with, like, A. And they just switch it around to, like, keep people on their toes. But then we're like, huh? Like, by the time it's the end and the big reveal happens, there's been like so many different versions and variations of that person that it kind of loses impact. And sometimes they even like completely change direction of like who their secret person was because too many like viewers guessed it and they wanted it to be a shocking reveal. And so then they just like change it. And then you get to the end and you're like, okay, well, that's just like, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
And so I'm interested to see, like what they'll do with this and see if they can do it better than any of the others. Because we've already had a few moments like that. Like when the Queen thought Eloise was Lady Whistledown. And then when Cressida was like, I'm Lady Whistledown. Like there's already been kind of those fake you out type moments. And so we'll see. But where would you rank this then in all the seasons?
I think my official ranking, excluding Queen Charlotte, okay? Season 2, Season 1, Season 4, Season 3.
Season 2, Season 1, 4, 3. Okay.
What's yours?
Maybe I'll agree. I've seen some people putting 3 and 4 first, and I'm like, what? I think we need to post our ranking on Instagram today. Okay. But yeah, no, I think I'd agree.
If I'm putting Queen Charlotte in there, I think I'd do Season 2, Season 1, Queen Charlotte, then 3, then 4. Then 4, then 3. 3 is always last.
I think that I would do Queen Charlotte second. Well, but But it's been so long since I watched season 1. Either one. No, I think I would put it second, maybe.
Queen Charlotte is really good, but if I'm going for like fun vibes, I just don't think it can go number 2.
Yeah. That's true. It's sad. It's kind of like my rating of Happy Place. It's like, I really like it, but it's hard for me to put it as number 1 because it's just not as, you don't have quite as much fun while reading it. I still have a lot of fun, but just not as much.
Yeah, are you kidding me? Arms up, baby.
I actually started re-listening to Happy Place.
Okay,
Guys, I'll try to move on.
Fine, I'll start re-listening too, so we can re-listen together.
I try to move on, and I try to read new books, and I'm just like, oh, but nothing hits the same.
Sydney's still at the restaurant.
I am. I really am. If I could just reread Emily Henry's books for my whole life, I think I'd be content.
She needs to write them faster so that
I know.
we have more to add to the rotation.
Yeah. No, seriously, I'm really mad that we're not getting one this year, but I shall survive. She's busy writing her own movies, which I will gladly take. Like, she's writing Funny Story, and I'm glad. I think that that's one that people could easily butcher because it is the most rom-com-ish, and I'm like, no, you've got to keep some Emily Henry elements. Okay, so when you were talking about the younger characters coming into play and like how, how could they do Queen Charlotte? Could they do a second season? I've seen some rumors about them doing a prequel series with Violet and
I've seen that too.
Mr. Bridgerton. What's his name?
I don't remember.
Honestly, my biggest complaint about Bridgerton...
Isn't it Edmund? Is that who they named
Kate
and Anthony named their baby after?
There's just too many people. There's so many characters in this show, and it's just really hard for them to fully flesh out each one. And so I have a hard time remembering everybody's names. But yes, Edmund. And one of the guys fan casted for like young Edmund is the guy that played Prince Eric in the newest Little Mermaid. Have you seen him?
I never saw that movie. I know. Let me pull up a picture.
I saw it in theaters with Caitlin the day after you got married.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That's probably why you didn't watch it. You were too busy getting married. I think it's like Jonah Howard King. Yeah.
Okay, no pictures of him are popping up. Oh, there we go. Yeah, maybe. I can't find like a good picture of him.
You can't find a good picture of him?
Oh, I found him.
On Google?
Well, because I just searched The Little Mermaid. I found a link to the actor. Yeah, he's cute.
I could see it. He kind of fits in with the Bridgertons.
Yeah.
What's funny is like
for sure.
Everyone wanted Harry Styles to be cast.
Oh my god.
In The Little Mermaid.
Oh, I thought you meant in Bridgerton. No, I was like, what?
And so when this guy was cast, everyone was like disappointed it wasn't Harry Styles. But I felt like they just sort of, I don't think he looks like Harry Styles necessarily, but I think they just tried to get like the second best guy. They were like, well, what will you take him?
He's like the same category of man.
Yeah.
The same genre.
Yeah, but I don't think Harry Styles could be cast as Edmund Bridgerton.
No.
But...
Okay, I have one final question, and then I think I'm done talking about Bridgerton, unless you have anything else.
I'm all done.
I've seen people saying... So, okay, first off, Bridgerton has already been removed for seasons 5 and 6, apparently, which I'm assuming will be Francesca and Eloise's stories. So, assuming it gets renewed for 7 and 8, and I guess that would be Hyacinth and Gregory. I've seen people being like, no, like, we saw them as kids, like, we can't have them in sex scenes now.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? They were like saying maybe they should recast them. Is that why they recast Francesca? Was the first actress too young?
No, she was in a show called like Lock and Key or something like that. She was like a main character in that. So I think she took a gamble of, well, I'm the lead in this show.
Yeah.
So I'll take that show instead. But then it didn't get renewed. So I could be totally off by the name of that show, by the way. I know that's what happened, but I can't remember if that's what the show is called.
I think I've heard of that show.
I can see Hyacinth. I don't know. Like, I see her and I think she looks like an adult. I mean, she's over the age of 18 right now. I guess just like the concept, I guess would be kind of weird. It kind of was like that scene in Harry Potter 7
when
part
Hermione
2.
and Harry, yeah. When all of a sudden there's nudity in Harry Potter. Yeah, that was so weird.
Yeah, so I could see it kind of, yeah. I hear people talking about that, but I've never really thought about it myself. I think it would be more weird with Gregory though, because they're trying to convince me that he's growing up and he's sitting with his brothers talking about girls, whatever. And I see him and I think that looks like a little boy.
Yeah.
And all the other actors are so old. Benedict,
yeah, right.
and even Eloise is in her 30s, you know? And so I just think that with the current audience of Bridgerton, yeah, it would be a little weird. I think they'd almost need to make their seasons sort of like Queen Charlotte, a separate entity, and just make it more young friendly.
Yeah.
So that audience, it could be aligned to an audience that's more their age and more, I don't know. I think it would be kind of weird. I mean, but by the time those are made, it's going to be 4 to
That's the thing,
8 years from now.
The actress who plays Hyacinth, Florence Hunt, she's 19. By the time they're filming her season, she'll be 23, 24.
And it's not like there hasn't been any, I mean, it's
if I was her, I'd be mad. I'd be
to not get it.
I'd be give me my own season.
And I definitely get that vibe from her.
Lead. Yeah.
I think she's ready to be a star.
Well, I mean, she got a lot of screen time this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe 4 years from now, people will be okay, yeah, sure.
I'm interested to see her development. When they were cast, they were just little kids that didn't have a lot of screen time. So I'm wondering if they can keep their acting up to par.
Yeah.
With everyone else. It's a hit or a miss when you cast young people that are going to stay a part of a series, you know?
Well, yeah, and like you just said, bless his heart, Gregory, I don't think seems to be growing up into a Bridgerton brother type vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's still just young. Let me see how old he is.
Yeah, I actually have no idea. I looked up the other girl, but not him.
Gregory Bridgerton, Will Tilston. Okay, let's see how old he is.
Oh,
Will Tilston.
I forgot how much of a baby he looked in the first.
He's also 19.
Holy cow, he looks so young in season 1. So you know what? I'll give him credit. He seems to be maturing quite a bit, but he's supposed to be older than her though, right?
Yeah, because he went off to college. He definitely has a baby face.
It's the little chubby cheeks and the dimples. So he was in college?
Yeah.
The Eton?
Yeah.
That's my Utah accent coming out. Eton? What's a T? I don't know. Okay. I just thought he was at some sort of prep, boarding school or something.
Well,
but
now I'm doubting myself.
I mean, maybe they never even specified, but I guess that would make sense because he's supposed to be. I guess I don't know what a coming out age is.
I don't know how old. Maybe it wasn't college.
Well, but if Hyacinth's 16, then he could be.
It says Eton College is a prestigious independent boarding school for boys in the UK.
It could be.
Well, who knows how old anyone is in this show anyway.
I'm okay with them recasting him. I feel bad recasting the other girl because, she seems to really want to shine.
Yeah. Well, that's another interesting thing. Hannah Dodd is 30 years old. The actress who plays Eloise, she's 36. So she will, which is normal for a man on this show, but she will be the oldest female lead.
Marriage? Yeah. I think that it's time to move on from the bangs. It's time to say goodbye. I'm getting really sick of them.
I don't think it's the bangs. I think it's what they do with the rest of her hair. Yeah.
I think they're trying to make her look younger, honestly. Yeah. It's a very juvenile look. But I'm hoping that for her season when she's getting married, that she gets to evolve and have a different hairdo because I'm just over her not changing physically, emotionally, anything. There's been no progress in Eloise.
I feel she made a stride or two in the second half of this season.
I appreciated her saying that she's starting to see what love can do and that love is not this meaningless, useless thing, but that it, gave her family and all of her siblings, and she sees what Benedict is doing for love, and I think that they're planting little seeds.
Yeah. And she tried really hard to make it up to Hyacinth.
Yeah.
Which, if you have a sister,
even her conversation with Cressida, I thought was nice. Like, once they started, stop talking about the paint.
Even though I don't really care about Cressida, but
I liked when they were friends in, was that season 3?
I have no memory.
I think it might have been. People were like rooting for them together as a couple.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Which, you know what? Like, I would have been on board with in that season before Cressida stabbed everyone in the back and went crazy again. But you know what?
She had to do it. Even Araminta, like, Araminta was a good villain and I really didn't like her, but like, you understood. I mean, like I said, she probably could have just left Sophie alone and Sophie would have left her alone. But you understand the plight of these women and they feel like they have no other option.
Yeah, but again, like, this is why those, like, societal structure, like, is so important. Because, like, absolutely, I think that it would be, like, even more impactful if it had more rigid societal expectations. Because, like, Cressida, all she's done is try to survive and look out for herself, which honestly you have to do. Otherwise, you might end up married to an old man 4 times your age. And, like, sometimes you stab a person in the back, but I don't blame her. I would do anything I needed to do to not have that happen to me. So, yeah.
All right. Well, another season of Bridgerton has come and gone, and we'll see you guys in 2 years when the next one comes out.
Yeah. Maybe sometime between now and then we'll rewatch the other seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Maybe I should rewatch before season 5.
Yeah. All right, well, join us next week. Rosalind, you can rent it. Unfortunately, it's not on Hulu or Disney Plus anymore, but you can rent it and watch it with us. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or like Apple, I guess, you know. But yeah. All right. Okay. We'll see you then.
My puppy was whining outside the door for me.
So, okay, bye, guys. My puppy. My baby is. Bye. Yeah.